Hey, Forge fans, it's the Forge Audio Network. I'm Anthony Urcioli. I feel like it's been a while since we've done a match day preview. I feel that way because it's true. It's been like 10 days. So Forge getting some unfamiliar time off that they're not used to having all this time off. They're coming off a 3-0 win over the Wanderers and a 3-0 win over Pacific. That was in a span of about 7 days. So outscoring their opponents by a total of 6-0 in their last two matches. You probably want to play as quickly as possible, but Forge had a break. But they're back. Wednesday night, Tim Hortons Field, 7 o'clock. Forge hosting Valour FC. Valour is a club that Forge hasn't faced since last November when Valour won that match 3-1 at home. So much to talk about for this match Wednesday night at Tim Hortons Field. Tickets available, by the way. And, I mean, this all ties into it here. Kyle Becker's 100th match. As soon as that whistle blows and Becker is on the pitch, it'll be match number 100 for Kyle. First player in CPL history to hit that mark. And to celebrate, you can buy a Becker 100th match pack. You get a ticket to Wednesday's match, and you get a commemorative t-shirt. It says Hamilton, has the number 10, has the Forge logo. It's a really nice shirt. So head over to the official website of Forge FC for more information on that. It's also Pride Night, and it's $5 beers before kickoff. So big night in Hamilton Wednesday. History for Kyle Becker and for Forge FC and for the Canadian Premier League, and you can be there live. All right, let's take a look at this match, and let's take a look at Forge. Again, we've had some time off. Let's get refreshed on what's going on here. First of all, it was like Christmas. I got my hands on some advanced stats. You know how much I love stats. If you know how much I love stats, you can imagine how much I love advanced stats. That much more. So here are some of the interesting things I found. Now, it's been a dominant stretch for Forge over the last month or so. Since that CF Montreal loss, it's been a completely different team. The results have been off the charts. I'm going to read you some stats I found. So expected goals. Now, these are determined based on what kind of shot it is, where the shot's coming from, is it contested? There's an algorithm that determines whether the goal is expected in that particular scenario. This is what Forge is looking at. Expected goals this season in total, 18. Now, they played 9 matches, so they're expected to score 2 a match this season. Leads the league. Now, they actually have 21, so they're scoring above their expected goals. Expected goals against. Now, all this talk, especially early in the year with injuries, and, is Forge going to be able to keep the ball out of the net with at certain points, they had no natural center backs in the lineup. Expected goals against this season, 7.86. Less than 1 a game. So if we go by the expected numbers, they're expected to win better than 2-1 every single match. Now, they've actually given up 12, so they're giving up more than they should, which means defensively, this club could be even better. And it makes sense, because there were some games, especially early in the year, where it didn't quite look like the Forge we were used to. How's this for advanced stats? This is maybe my favorite. We know how Forge like to play. We know the tempo they like to play in. We know that they love to possess the ball, and when they don't, they look to get it back as quickly as possible. Here's proof. The percentage of balls that they regain within 6 seconds of losing it. So they lose the ball, a player does for Forge. Within 6 seconds, they're able to get it back 45% of the time. That is far and away the best in the league. Almost half the time they lose the ball, they get it back. That's why this club is so difficult to play against, and why they've been creating all kinds of fits for their opponents. Now, we mentioned the banged up back line. Well, before we get there, actually, because this kind of ties in, let's start with the amount of time in between matches here. It can be tough for a team, especially when you're used to playing as often as Forge is, and when you're playing as well as they are. You want to play as much as possible, as soon as possible. And, well, they haven't been able to. They have no choice. Head coach and technical director of Forge FC, Bobby Smyrniotis, talked about keeping his guys in game mode during that 10-day break leading into their next match against Valour?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing we have right now is we've been playing some very good football right before this 10-day break, as you would call it. Um, which you usually like to keep on playing games. You know, a week between games is good. You know, 10 days sometimes a little bit too much, but it also gives us an opportunity for guys to be, well rested. An opportunity for some guys to get healthier, get back in as we're getting closer to adding a few more bodies back into the lineup. But you just keep it competitive in training. You know, that's the most important thing. A couple of days off. This week. A lot of competitive work and training, and just an ability to reemphasize principles of play and making sure we're sharp, and maybe a few more days to analyze our opponent.
Just on Valour, they've had some ups and downs this year. Sometimes that attack seems deadly, and sometimes not so much. What have you kind of seen from them with maybe the way they're able to hit in transition and on set pieces, like the things that they did at York, and how do you kind of address those?
Yeah, overall, I think they're a good team, and I think that's why it's important not to get caught up in what's going on in the standings or so on, because they've had some good matches. They've had some matches lately that they've lost, which I think they've been very good in. And it's a couple of set piece goals, and against the run of play. But like you said, they're a team that can attack quick, attacks in numbers, gets players forward, likes to look into different intricate play in the final third. So they're a dangerous team, like every team in this league. They all bring something dangerous to the table. So it's understanding where that comes from, but it's understanding how you neutralize it. And the best way to neutralize it is try and be dominant in your game, at least for us. What I've seen this year is, maybe a lot of teams feeling each other out in games and more cautious not to lose games. I think for us, the important thing is we always step on the field to go and win a game. And if we can do that and bring levels of energy we've shown lately, then that'll always give us success, and it'll make things difficult for an opponent. And hopefully we put them into a stage, any opponent, where their game is more random than planned.
During that press conference, which you can catch in its entirety if you head over to the Forge FC official website, Gavin Matusala, heard earlier this year, had an incredible start, one of the more promising young defenders in the Canadian Premier League. He's hurt. He's back. We don't know if he's starting, but he will at the very least, be on the bench. There's a chance he may start as well against Valour. We can almost guarantee, unless something unforeseen happens, Matusala will get on the field at some point. What do you do? There are some tough decisions to make now. Malik, speaking of one of the better young defenders in the league, Malik just absolutely exploded the second he stood on the field. So Malik's been impressive. Do you take him out in favor of Matusala? Alex Achinioti-Jonsson, natural midfielder, playing center back, doing a spectacular... they have not missed a beat with Achinioti-Jonsson, one of the more versatile players on the club. Does he come out of the lineup, or does he move back to the midfield for Matusala? And if he does move back into the midfield, talk about difficult decisions. You have Kyle Becker, who, again, barring something unforeseen, will play in his 100th CPL match, or 100th match as a member of Forge FC. Is it Hoja Rapport, who's been so good box-to-box for Forge? Will it be Sissoko, who's been unbelievable box-to-box for Forge this season? One of the more consistent, if not the most consistent player on the club, game in, game out. What do you do? And you still have guys on the bench. You have Noah Jensen, who's earned a right. Who could probably start for any other team. But again, Forge with some difficult decisions, but good problems to have if you're head coach and technical director Bobby Smyrniotis. Speaking of Achinioti-Jonsson, he said it, you've heard it on the Forge Audio Network multiple times. He doesn't care. He's happy to play. Wherever he needs to contribute, he'll contribute. And here is Alex pre-match talking about some of those difficult decisions that his club is going to have to make.
Yeah, sure. I'll play wherever they put me. It's been going well at center back. Obviously, I'm naturally a midfielder, so and I would still like to be called a midfielder, even though I'm playing at center back right now. But no, I think I've gotten more comfortable for each game. I'm getting more comfortable there. Still think my skill sets are probably ideally best for the midfield, but they work very well on the center back as well.
And just one more for me. You've been playing with Kyle Becker for 4 years now. If he plays tomorrow, he'll be the first guy to hit 100 games for a CPL club. What does he mean to this team, and what's it like, working with him every day?
He means a lot with his professionalism, everything from when he comes in the morning and the work he does before practice, after practice, out in the field, and what he demands of his teammates. And I think as a captain of the team, it's important that he also shows the front foot of all this, right? So he doesn't slack and doesn't not care. He cares a lot about what everyone on the team does and make sure that everyone pulls their weight.
All right, so we'll have to wait until Wednesday night to before we know what Bobby's plan is and who fits in where. Before we do anything else, we need to check in the on the table here, because we haven't talked about the standings yet. Forge has so many games to make up. They have 4 games to make up on Pacific. They have 2 to make up on Atletico and Calvary. Those 3 clubs are ahead of them right now on the table. Forge at 17 points. They are in 4th. Calvary in top spot with 23 points. So Forge is 6 games out of first with 2 games in hand. And we know week to week this league, we're talking about 6-point swings. So there's still a lot to be played. A lot to be played. But Forge is well within striking distance. And they control their own destiny. Again, it's early. Everyone kind of controls their own destiny, but you know what I mean. When Forge plays the way they can play, they can be in complete control of where they finish. And if you're Forge or Calvary or anybody, you want to finish first. Home field throughout the postseason, a championship match potentially at home. If you finish first, you guarantee that if you make it that far. But first things first. Forge FC taking on Valour FC Wednesday night at Tim Hortons Field. Get your tickets, get your 100th match for Kyle Becker match pack. That includes a shirt. Also, I do want to remind you of something else. Next week, very exciting. July 6th, the Youth Soccer Skills Clinic is back with Forge FC. It's from 6:30 to 8:30 at night at Tim Hortons Field on July 6th. It is the Forge FC Soccer Skills Clinic, and it's for grade 6 to 8. So whether boy, girl, there's no gender exclusions there. Basically under 11s to under 14. So grade 6 to 8 is the range we're looking at here. You can enter gate 3 on Melrose Avenue at Tim Hortons Field. You're going to get coaches, players taking the kids through a series of drills, techniques, and learning proper skills and techniques as well. To reserve your spot, head over to the official website of Forge FC, go to the Youth Soccer Skills Clinic page, and register to reserve your spot. You're not going to want to miss that. And you're not going to want to miss Forge and Valour. Get your tickets now. I'll be there, and I hope to see you there.
We are the Forge, the mighty, mighty Forge. You just don't think you understand.
Forge FC is prepared, and now you are informed. This has been Match Day Preview with Anthony Urcioli on the Forge Audio Network. Subscribe on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.